While much of the world remains focused on Gaza, there is increasing violence in the West Bank, often at the hands of Israeli settlers.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken condemned those actions earlier today. CNN's Donna Bashir reports on the rising tensions.
Armed and threatening, this is the face of Israeli settler violence in the occupied West Bank. It's these acts of aggression which are chasing Palestinian families out of their homes. Piece by piece, Palestinians in the village of Khirbet Zanuta pack their lives away, never to return. The settlers come at night while we're sleeping. They beat us and try to kill us. They try to force us out of our homes. I can't sleep anymore. I'm too afraid. Families in this village, once home to some 140 Palestinians, tell us they have been left with no choice but to flee their homes. What's happening now is another Nakba, a catastrophe. I'm 60 years old. I've lived here my entire life. And despite the fact that settlements in the occupied West Bank are considered illegal by many in the international community, they continue to grow and expand with the backing of Israeli authorities. We inherited this land from our forefathers. We've lived here for generations. Now it's only getting worse. The war in Gaza has only encouraged the settlers. According to Israeli rights group B'Tselem, at least 15 Palestinian farming communities have been forcibly displaced since October 7th.
The real thing that is influencing the life of Palestinians here is the outpost up there.
Yehuda Shaul, an Israeli human rights activist, says encroachments on Palestinian land are rapidly advancing, and personal attacks in the occupied West Bank have only intensified.
The next stage is not only attacking Palestinians when they're out in the field, going into the communities, into the homes, burning houses, slashing water tanks, beating up people, threatening women, children, elderly. And the result of it is what you see in front of your eyes.
People leaving.
Entire communities packing up and leaving. Settlers are taking advantage that all eyes are in Gaza to accelerate their violence, because there is no protection from the Israeli army, there is no protection from the Israeli police. In many cases, the Israeli army is accompanying the settlers, and in many cases, the settlers are the army.
In the nearby village of Atuba, a remote Palestinian community, Israel's military keeps a watchful eye. IDF soldiers never too far away.
Yes, you need to go. You need to go.
What?
Because you're in the Israel thing.
Sorry?
You need to go.
Why?
No.
Why are we not allowed to come?
This village knows the price of settler violence all too well. Palestinians here say their attacks are edging closer each night. They come and threaten us, saying we have to leave or they will be back to target us. They're all armed. They never come here without weapons. In the last week alone, residents here say Israeli settlers have slashed this village's water tanks and cut through local power lines. An effort, NGO workers say, to pressure Palestinian families to leave the area.
What we're seeing now is that under the cloak of the war that's happening now, the settler activities, settler violence has increased tremendously over the last few weeks.
This crisis is not new to the Palestinian people, but it's a crisis that is deepening. Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip said to be emboldening violent settlers. Across the southern Hebron Hills, there are now fears that smaller, more remote Palestinian villages could be next. But for Palestinians in Khirbet Zanuta, it is already too late.